Western Balkan leaders unanimously demand more attention from the European Union on the integration process, with the Slovenian head of state saying the EP, following the elections, must open its doors to the Balkan countries. Europe Day has been celebrated every year on the 9th of May since Robert Schumann's statement and is recognised as the foundation of the European Union's creation. EU ambassadors met with the country's youth, appealing for them not to emigrate and to instead contribute to Albania, especially by being more active in domestic politics. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 9th of May 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to RTV Ora's English edition. My name is Alexandra, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. As per the Brdo Briuni Process Summit organised by the President of the Republic, Ilir Meta, a meeting was held today in Tirana with the main Western Balkan leaders, along with high EU officials. The Brdo Briuni process is a regional initiative co-founded by the Slovenian and Croatian presidents in 2010. At the invitation of the President of Croatia and the President of Slovenia, the summit in Tirana was attended by the Presidents of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia and Serbia. Honorary guests included the President of Poland and the High Representative of the European Union, Federica Mogherini. Today's summit of leaders coincided with Europe Day, aimed at conveying an important political message regarding the common aspiration of the countries of the region to integrate into the European Union. This initiative has served as an important forum at the highest political level for fostering dialogue, cooperation, strengthening of security and stability, and supporting the European and Euro-Atlantic processes for all the countries of the region. After the meeting, which ran for more than 2 hours behind closed doors, it was learned that the discussion regarded open communication, regional cooperation, and the integration process. The Slovenian president warned the Western Balkan countries to continue just as intensively with reforms to ensure integration is not delayed. As he said, after the EU election, the policy of ratification will change. I cannot say that we solved the problems, but we have debated the issues very amusingly. This is due to the fact that everyone knows that after the elections of the European Parliament, the enlargement process will not be at the top of the agenda. It is therefore in our hands to take steps in order to make this region more attractive to the European Union, explained the Slovenian president. The Polish president asked the European Union to keep the doors open to the Balkans by stating, "These issues can be discussed with ease and should be resolved through dialogue between the leaders of the relevant nations. The EU should keep its doors open for membership, and this is the most important lesson to be learned." The EU president expressed concern with the EU and the aspirant countries about the vacuum that the EU itself is creating in the Balkans. In giving his speech, the organiser of the summit, President Ilir Meta, spoke of Albania's role in the Western Balkans. Albania will continue playing its indispensable role as a factor of peace, stability and security in the region. We will continue to fulfil our enhanced responsibilities as a member of NATO for a peaceful and secure neighbourhood. This includes our determination to stay alongside strategic allies in the global war on terrorism and violent extremism, concluded the Albanian President Ilir Meta. Europe Day occurs on the 9th of May every year in celebration of peace and unity in Europe. The date marks the anniversary of the historical Schuman Declaration. At a speech delivered in Paris in 1950, Robert Schuman, the then French foreign minister, set out his idea for a new form of political cooperation in Europe, which would make war between Europe's nations unthinkable. His vision was to create a European institution that would pool and manage coal and steel production. A treaty creating such a body was signed just under a year later. Schuman's proposal is considered to be the beginning of what is now the European Union. Years later, at the Milan summit in 1985, EU leaders decided that May 9th would be declared and celebrated as Europe Day. The European Union continues to be the aspiration of Albania even after nearly 30 years. However, the step-by-step journey towards integration has, even to this day, proven to be a slow-moving one. In the months ahead, an important decision is expected to be made regarding the opening of negotiations with the EU. Foreign diplomats today urged the Albanian youth to stay in Albania and get involved in politics, with the EU delegation chief Luigi Soreca saying that the voice and the opinion of the youth should be heard by decision makers. One of the messages we expect to bring this week is to make sure that your voice is heard. We do not want to be a filter between you and the institutions, but a way for your voice to be heard. You are not only the present, but the future of Albania. We will have future meetings that will show you what the principles of this strategy are. You are a single family, Soreca said. The German ambassador to Albania, Susanne Schutz, said that youth participation in politics and civil society would result in positive impacts. Meanwhile, according to the Austrian ambassador, Albania requires a turnover of the elite, and this can only be provided by young people. The meeting between EU leaders and young people today took place under the framework of Europe Day. Today, the Interior Minister, Sandor Leshaj, ordered all police directors to be careful as there are attempts to reactivate cannabis cultivation. He said that up until June 15th, every root of cannabis captured will be to their merit. However, after that date, everything captured is their direct responsibility. The war is not over. We have had successful battles thanks to the dedication of the structures, but this is not a reason to relax. We require greater engagement and the strengthening of efforts in order to stop every attempt to reactivate the cultivation of this narcotic plant. Our agencies are committed to the process of getting information aimed at identifying every effort. I mean, despite the successes, the potential for reactivation of this phenomenon exists, though in the embryonic form. There are discontinuous efforts in some districts where certain criminal elements try to exploit the fog created to conduct criminal activity. Strong measures have been taken to develop a major information process to develop proactive investigations. The need for increased vigilance is very present. Also, the information coming from the citizens invites us for added attention in this area. The success we have had needs to be further deepened, and strict control of the territory is required. Each plant and each seed that is seized up until the 15th of June is to your merit, the merit of the police director, the leaders of the territorial branches, and so on. Those that remain after June 15 are the responsibility of each of you and your people. After this date, what you find is your direct responsibility, explained Minister Leshaj. Awakening from a rather lethargic sleep after the December protests, students of the Fanoli University in Korça returned to demonstrating over concerns regarding higher education. They assert that the Pact for the University, launched by Prime Minister Rama, is not being implemented. As such, vetting of professors, as well as problems with employment potential, remain the major requirements. Today's protest is a reawakening from the lethargy that students had fallen into following the December protests. We gave the government time to implement the Pact for Universities as was promised to us, but the benefits of this pact are still yet to be seen, said one student. According to them, there are two main reasons for returning to protest, those being greater investment in education and the creation of new jobs. Today, we protested for an hour, but in the coming days, we will escalate the protest action, expressed another student. Referring to the protest as a right of the students, the Dean, Ali Yashari, stressed that the opening of 15 new branches is to adapt to the labour market. Considering the advantages of the development in the Korça region, we responded directly to the concerns of students. The legal basis for assessing titles and grades of lecturers is being prepared, and I believe the process will be completed very soon, said Yashari. Korça's students, on the other hand, warned of the escalation of protest action if they did not see tangible changes in the short term. In January, the government launched the Pact for Universities, but students say they are still yet to see any benefit from it. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of RTV Ora, thank you and good night.